Back to the channel, guys. I hope you're all well. As always, before we do get into today's live stream, as always, please do hit the old like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. A bit of big information for you on your Sunday evening. Sorry for my lighting if it's a little bit dark, but of course here to discuss what it says in the title. Yes, Besiktas target Rangers duo as Giovanni van Bronckhorst has set to take over. Very, very interesting indeed. Of course, I'm not sure if that went live. Guys, if you are just joining in, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, guys, for Daily Rangers content. Get involved in the live chat. Answer the poll. Is it time for James Tavernier to go from Rangers Estate? That's the question in the poll. Anyway, let's discuss it. Of course, Giovanni van Bronckhorst was unveiled as Besiktas' manager last week. Of course, I've spoken a lot about Giovanni van Bronckhorst recently. From a Rangers manager point of view, a lot of the people that we've had when they get sacked, Pedro Canecha, Graham Murty, Mark Wolverton, Michael Beale, all these kind of people, there have been chances. But Giovanni van Bronckhorst for me is a different sort of guy. I really rated Giovanni van Bronckhorst when he was at Rangers. I thought he was fantastic in terms of that first season. Some people would say, well, it was because it was Gerrard's squad, but tactically in European competitions, I thought he was very, very good. I thought he was a very, very good tactical manager, and I could see why he had success at Feyenoord in the Eredivisie and won the Eredivisie title there. My only qualms with him was really within the league. I didn't think he was, I don't know, sometimes just playing against sort of lesser teams. It wasn't so much, it was Celtic. We did lose a couple of times to them, of course, but I just felt against that sort of low block teams, he just didn't really find a way of winning games, and that was also a problem. But going into the summer, he should have been backed by the football club. He was obviously one kick away from a Europa League trophy, which would have put him into Rangers folklore for the rest of time. Would have won the biggest trophy in our club's history, probably as well. Obviously, a lot of people would debate that, but certainly in 2022, this day and age, winning a European trophy, the second biggest one, would be absolutely massive for Rangers. But I do think the Rangers board did neglect him going into the summer transfer window that year and didn't really back him. He obviously got us into the Champions League, and then he just had an injury crisis from hell, and then ultimately he was sacked. But if you are looking in context in the situation, yes, he probably should have picked up the points in those league games, but you can't really blame him. We were lining up in Champions League games with James Sands and Leon King as our centre-back pairing, which was absolutely dreadful. So I always feel a bit sorry for Giovanni van Bronckhorst, but of course, been out of work for a little while now, and of course there has been humming and hawing whether he was going to be going out to Besiktas. These links have been started for a very, very long time. Of course, with Arne Slot now going to Liverpool, there was talks that maybe potentially he could go back to Feyenoord. However, ultimately it did cross the line, and he actually is going over to Besiktas. That was unveiled. Now, naturally, this kind of stuff appears straight afterwards. When a manager takes over a club, no matter who it is, it's always said that people are going to go in for their old players. But now it's going to be very, very interesting, because I told you I don't really bring shit from the rags. I don't really come with the Scottish Sun or any of these kind of sources. I only come here with reputable stuff. And things have picked up out in Turkey from reputable sources, may I add, that has stated that Giovanni van Bronckhorst has asked Chiefs to organise James Tavernier as a potential transfer. Now, James Tavernier, of course, our captain. We'll move on to the Ridvan Yilmaz stuff later as a double swoop, reportedly. But the main ones out in Turkey, Giovanni van Bronckhorst has requested the Besiktas management to transfer right-backs James Tavernier and Steven Berghuis. Of course, James Tavernier plays for Rangers, and then Steven Berghuis plays for Ajax. That's what it's translated through in Turkey. A lot of Turkish fans getting onto this one, talking about James Tavernier, saying that he'd be an amazing signing for Besiktas. And then other sources out in Turkey are also stating that Giovanni van Bronckhorst is looking to potentially bring in Ridvan Yilmaz. Now, Ridvan Yilmaz obviously has history, of course, was out in Turkey. That's where we signed him from, Besiktas, for I think £5 million. And to be fair with Ridvan, I'll talk about Ridvan, then we'll move on to our captain a bit later, because it's a bit more stronger links with regards to our captain. I think it's maybe a bit of lazy journalism, I suppose, with the Ridvan stuff, but we'll still discuss that anyway. Again, look, Ridvan obviously played for Besiktas. There was reports that we were willing to sell him back in January, and then he went on to really be one of our better players at that left-back role, really took it as a position of his own. However, the question has always been there with Ridvan Yilmaz is that he just can't seem to stay fit and healthy. But yeah, I mean, if the price was right for little Ridvan, I probably would take it just because of his injury record. But yeah, have to be meet the correct prices. Now let's talk about Tavernier. Tavernier in the lead up to the transfer window. Obviously, there has been reports stating that Al Ettifaq are interested in Saudi Arabia with him. And now, of course, with reputable sources out in Turkey stating that the Rangers captain is of wanted highly by Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. As stated, reputable sources out in Turkey said that Giovanni Van Bronckhorst has stated to the Besiktas management and have requested that Besiktas make a transfer for right back James Tavernier and Steven Berghuis from Ajax Amsterdam. Now, with James Tavernier, I've gave you guys my opinions on the captain. I do think turning 33 soon, and there's reports stating that it would cost around £5 million. Now, I don't care which player you are. If a player on the other side of 32 and you're getting offered £5 million, especially a Scottish side, remember we don't have the wealth of the Premier League, then you need to be looking to entertain it. Look, towards the end of the season, I didn't think James Tavernier looked great. Now, some people will argue me, whatever, but we've been left with the bag so many times in our recent history. Ryan Kent, Alfredo Morelos, we need to cash in on these players. And, unfortunately, James Tavernier is a part of the old guard. And I do think his best days are behind him. So if there's a whiff that we can get some money, £5 million that's being touted for James Tavernier, then I would be all for it. Now, I know it sounds a little bit disrespectful. I know Rangers fans maybe do get rubbed up the wrong way, but I've always stated, guys, James Tavernier is my favourite Rangers player over the last decade. Genuinely, he has been. And I've always been on the other side of the fence. But time waits for no man. He's 33 in October. There's been signs that he is declining over the last season, and to be fair, I think we just want some freshness, a fresh voice in the changing room as well. And if there was an opportunity for us to cash in on our captain, I would absolutely do it. And that's not to be disrespectful to Tavernier. Some people will maybe look at that being disrespectful, shoving him out the door. It's not the case. I've loved James Tavernier, but as stated, guys, time waits for no man, and I do think if there is an inkling, is there a sniff of £5 million that's being reported, then we absolutely will have to take it and see our captain move on. Now, I would think that's a great move for him. I do think the Turkish Super League is looking very good. I think he'll rip it up in that division. Beşiktaş just won the Turkish Cup. Obviously, Jose Mourinho's gone out there with Fenerbahce. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, he played really, really good football under Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. I think they will play European football as well. And I think it would be a good little payday for him, and a massive club to play for as well. But as stated, ladies and gentlemen, Beşiktaş definitely are interested in James Tavernier, and other reports also stating that they're interested in Ridvan Yilmaz. Now it's over to you as always, guys. Let me know your thoughts on the situation. Do you cash in on our captain? How much do you think he will be worth? Do you think James Tavernier will leave this summer? As stated, let me know all your thoughts down there in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts in regards to Ridvan Yilmaz. Would you let him go out the door? As stated, let me know down in the comment section below. And that brings us to the end of today's live stream, guys. That's all I've really got for you with regards to the duo. I just want to say best of luck to Giovanni Van Bronckhorst out in Beşiktaş as well. I do really like him as a guy, and I like him as a player, and I like him as a manager at Rangers, and I hope he does really, really well out there. And we'll see if James Tavernier joins him. But as stated, guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.